We are live. Well, we're back home again, back from Vegas. And today we're going to talk about movement. We're back to practical stuff. The certification exam is over. So, my teaching to educate myself on the functional medicine system and way is over. Yay. So, let's talk about movement and why movement is important. And so when we're going to talk about the lower extremities, first, I'm going to have Jess talk about the veins and how they work and why movement is important and why we need that.
Well, you just have to move, because if you don't move, your legs will swell, because you have valves in your veins. They kind of go like this down. So as you move, it pushes the blood up, and you get varicose veins because they strip out and they open up like that.
Oh, really? Now that I didn't know. I have
So
a varicose vein
as
somewhere.
you move, basically you're massaging, your muscles are massaging your veins, and it helps move. Hi, Kathy. Helps move the blood up and out against gravity. So actually, somebody told us at the seminar, Libby's down here at my feet, because that's where Libby always is. Even when you're standing, you should just lightly pump your feet so that you're constantly moving your legs.
And so looking at a human being historically or through the lens of evolution, or however you want to look at it, our eyes are in the fronts of our heads, and so we are predatory by nature. If you look at the way biologists and stuff like that look at animals, then you know that things with the eyes in the front of their head are predator, things with the eyes on the side of their head, they're prey. And movement, like Jess just described, when you look at that valve and that cup in there, when the muscle contracts and it squeezes that blood, that's not driven by the heart. When it squeezes that blood, the blood comes up, the valve closes or opens, however you want to look at that, and then
it squeezes through, and then it shuts back.
And
if you have varicose veins, it's because they've lost their ability to spring.
I used to have a really big one on my leg, and it's gone.
Yeah.
Wonder how that happened. I just thought of that. But to that point, movement is so integral to everything that we do. It moves lymph. Lymph isn't driven by the heart at all. I'm actually a little incorrect when I talk about the heart pumping. The heart pumping does push that, but the muscles assist it against gravity. Just a clarification. But lymph doesn't have any pump for the heart. That's all dependent on basically massage and movement and that type of stuff. So, there comes the beast into camera view. And so when we look at this and we think about it now, think about digestion. And what do they say? After you eat, relax for a little bit and then go for a walk, because that gets the blood pumping, that gets things moving, it gets your bowels moving. And it's so, so important that that stuff is happening properly. That's the assimilation node, as we've talked about before. So you have to be digesting things, they have to be broken down, and then you have to move them through. And I'm not saying exercise. I'm not talking about going out and going for a run. And I'm not talking about hopping on your bike and biking 1,000,000 miles. I am talking about just standing up, walking around, assisting your cardiovascular system, because it all counts and it all helps. And just as simple as, how are you doing on your squat challenge?
I forgot about it.
So she was doing a squat challenge and was doing movement, and that's something else that you can do. And so it doesn't matter what you do, just move. And then the next thing that you can also do is go get a massage. Those are all wonderful, wonderful things. But guess what? And what we're seeing here recently with our new functional medicine patients is they're all coming in dehydrated. We're not drinking enough water. Half of your body weight in ounces to help keep everything moving. And honestly, I was just listening to an update that was released today on COVID responses and what's happening with COVID. Got to have water in there because it does cause plaquing in the arteries. It does cause clumping. And so if you don't have things hydrated well, you're accelerating that. And I'm going to have a little more on COVID and what the research that we just got from the Institute for Functional Medicine. I'll be putting something up about that. I don't know if it's going to go on the website or if we're going to do a video on it. But those are the things. And so just some typical things. Get out, go for a walk 30 minutes a day. Don't sit on your butt for longer than 30 to 45 minutes. Set a timer. Get up, move around. As Jess said, squeeze your legs, move your toes, stand up on your tiptoes. Anything to cause muscle contraction to help keep things moving.
She energized too.
Yep. Well, they had us doing all kinds of things. They had us doing squats. They had us moving our arms.
Mm-hmm.
They had, what else did they have us do?
Pumping arms, squeezing your hands, squatting, twisting.
Well, we have a couple minutes left. Would you recommend the Osho to people if they get a chance to go out to Vegas?
Oh, yeah. I was fascinated by the floor. I still need to research that.
The Bellagio has a 1.5 million gallon pool inside. So if you've been to Las Vegas, the lake outside, when they go to maintenance, the pool inside, there's enough water to take that entire lake and raise it an inch. That's how much water is inside the building in that pool.
It was crazy. The divers would dive in within 1 minute or two, maybe. They would be walking across the pool like instantly.
I think it's less than a minute.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
It made them look like they were walking on water.
Like people would absolutely just dive and they were gone. And then people would just like walk into the water and just walk right on across.
It was pretty cool. And them launching those people.
Yeah, it was fascinating.
So, get out, see something new. As far as we know, we only get one trip around this world. So you might as well make the most of it. But as actually they released from IU a paper on the 16th of April, they were saying the best way to prepare yourself for the next pandemic, this comes from IU Med, this comes from conventional medicine, is to be healthy. And they talk about eating bioflavonoids and phytonutrients. Totally floored me.
Eat your colors.
Took the whole spectrum from functional medicine on how we tell people to eat and basically said, yeah, they were right. So with that being said, we've been told to keep these brief. So we're trying to keep them brief, and that's hard.
Libby said, please keep it brief. You're taking my mom away.
So
she's like a 3-year-old back talking to dad, huffing and puffing because he told her to be quiet.
And now she wants to be in the limelight.
She does.
Remember, dogs help your biome,
but
evidently they give off a funky bacteria that's slightly pathogenic called CS.
It's cats and dogs. It lives in their mouth.
Huh. Don't let your dog lick you in the face.
Don't let it bite you either.
All right. You guys have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you next week. Bye, Kath. Have a good night.
Bye, Kathy. Something on her ear.